toy. He looks like fucking Snow. What's the name of that dog?
Snoke?
Snow, the dog in this.
Oh, Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost. He looks like Ghost.
Ghosty posties.
He does look like
Say
Ghost.
got it.
Got it.
Got it. Got it.
Super stickers now enabled for my stickers. There's no one here.
Good. Just the way I like it.
One.
All right, guys, let's talk about it.
Like we should run through it right now as fast as we can, and then no one will ever fucking
I know. It's like, well, we just finished. Hi,
always
hey,
say-
what's going on?
Black Lights, you are number one.
You guys are so close. We almost got started without you.
Yeah, you are number two, but always also number one.
If it's just gonna be you two guys, we're gonna have a lot of weird
I don't have any
stuff.
snarl with beard, do I? I'm thick. Still, you know what?
Still Skellington.
You had it the first. You were first the last 2 times. You're third this time. Still, number one in our hearts.
Always.
Still skeleton. Black Light.
Yay!
Oh man.
So 3 people. You know what? That's probably the excitement that I think happened at the end of this series.
Level 3 out of 2,000.
I'm doing good. You know, I had a bad sexual experience last night, but you're young. It'll happen.
Yeah, you'll recover. Still a better ending than Lost and Dexter.
Yeah, that's right, man. Dexter, fucking holy shit.
I didn't watch Dexter, but Lost left me like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be full frontal. I never saw all of Lost. I think I watched like a couple of episodes here and there, but I know it was bad. Hey, what's going on? Hi, guy.
Kane said, "Oh, hi, Mark." Hey, Kenny, JT. I know JT. Brightburn is this week. We're gonna review it.
We're excited.
Fuck out of that.
Excited to Subway sandwich.
Froggy, Vanessa, Galaxy, the good job,
Morning. Hey, what's going on, guys? There's everybody keeps on pouring in here. We like it. It's like a party that we finally got accepted to.
Hodor finally let the door go, and everyone's in. Hold the door. Greetings from Winchester, David. Like Winchester, Kentucky,
or Winchester Rifles.
And that's where we're from originally, naturally.
I don't know about you, but I'm from the West Coast.
Oh shit, he is in Winchester, Kentucky, man. Holy shit, that's fucking weird. That's fucking crazy, man. That's where we grew up.
Heyo, Pennywise girl. Heyo,
what up, Zach? Zach, how do you not watch Game of Thrones, Zach?
Iron Fighter.
Fuck? Get into it, man. It's over now.
Zach's a good guy.
So now it's time to buckle down and watch those DVDs. My chest hurts.
My does too. I think I'm having a panic attack.
I'm having a fucking soul attack.
He grew up in Nicholasville.
Holy shit, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. So who would you take, says Vanessa, in a battle? Aragorn from Lord of the Rings or Jon Snow?
Aragorn. Look, I like Jon Snow. Jon Snow is sexual, and he's got like that fucking badassery. But Aragorn is like, he's able to unite everything, and he's like, I do not fear death. And he walks into the fucking cave of ghosts. Yes, Aragorn.
That's what I look like when I eat cookies at 4 in the morning.
It's like you will bow to no one. You will bow to no one.
Oh man.
My brother always watches Gut.
Zach, it's one of those things, man. Like when you watch the first episode, or maybe even the first 2 episodes, you don't get into it initially. I'm not a fantasy guy. I can't get into fantasy shit to save my life. Like Lord of the Rings, I just can't do it. I want to, and I can't. But Game of Thrones got me. Like I watched like 3 or 4, and it finally nabbed me at some point. I was like, okay, there's enough sex and intrigue and darkness in this that I can let go of the 3-eyed raven bullshit and get into the darkness, which we'll get into all that. But fucking hell. Shit.
Who would you bet on in a fight? Nikki asked. Drago versus the Mountain. Drago, because he got them steroids, dog.
Drago, because he deserves to win.
Drago! And plus, he got Sylvester Stallone to scream his name from a mountaintop.
Yeah, Drago's such an unstoppable, crazy fucking villain. And the fact that he got beat, I feel like he needs a win. And, you know, I want to take Drago. Juju.
Pre-workout.
They got in there to make him crazy. You know? Fuck! I feel like my insides are full of toxic waste, like in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I can smell your breath.
You know,
it's bad.
Yeah, it's sickness.
It's like fucking gray water. It's like shit and piss.
Breathing my sickness on you.
It's shit and piss water.
You feel it. Feel it. Feel it.
Feel it.
So I say, all right, the 10-minute mark. You know what? The 7-minute mark. We'll start into the live recap.
No, you gotta do like it's gotta be 8. It's always gonna be even. You can't do an odd number.
Fine, we'll go 8.
I don't like that.
We'll go 8.
It's bad news.
At the 8-minute mark,
bad
we're
news.
Get into the spoilers and shit.
By the way, I'm gonna point this out. Look, It's not talking about the
guessing.
episode yet. Yeah, loving the dicks every day, 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. But I'm going to point out that after watching the finale, I gotta say, guys, like, even though we praised the early episodes, this season sucked. The sun sucks. Like, goddamn. Like, I was expecting, oh my god. But we'll get into that. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna have a great time with jello shots and sexual innuendos.
Slim 182. I like the 182, by the way. Had a good point. The first shot and the last shot of the series were the north of the wall. Like, they were the
I know, but I just didn't like. I don't like how that shit went down. Okay.
No, me either. Me either.
It was like. Yes, Andres, Jeff,
thank you.
Good time.
I agree. You know, we'll get into it, but I do agree.
We've got a few more minutes.
Underwhelming, for sure.
I don't know. I felt like I was in a fucking exam, like the entire time I was watching it. Like you know, like sweating and like you're trying to bubble in the right answer. You're like, what's the right answer? Like, I think I'm gonna go with C because you didn't feel like you studied enough, and then it was like you got an F anyway.
I felt good, and then it ended, and I felt bad.
I felt good. There were moments when you felt good, and then you were like, I got diarrhea.
I was like,
I got diarrhea.
What could it be? You know, I was like,
hey, Carla,
could have been so much greater. You know, I don't know. We'll get into it all though in the darkness in the night.
Oh my goodness gracious! I really yeah. At the end, I was like, that was it. If I wanted to kiss, I would have called your mother. That's how it felt. Like that was like it sums it up perfectly. I don't know.
Tell me about the chicken wings, Tommy. Hey, we're Kyle's favorite Halloween reviews. Thank you, Kyle.
Got that?
Hey, Mustack Reviews says, and thank you, by the way. It says, thought they totally took a crap.
Yes, they did.
John.
Oh my god, dude, they did. Like, fuck yeah. Like one of the more popular characters on the entire fucking series, and you just said bird's eye view.
Yeah, maybe not a total
Take
crap.
a shit on your face.
They took a little shit on him for sure.
It wasn't. I mean, I think they took a dump on his face. Like, it was a little poopy.
Pennywise girl, are you ever going to do a live chat of Michael Myers and the Doctor? When we hit 100,000 subscribers, we have
some plans.
So yeah, that'll happen eventually for sure. Oh, all right.
We'll talk about that baby-faced assassin very soon. We got 1 minute. We're just gonna wait a little bit. We got fucking 47 seconds.
I don't know why you have to pay for stickers. I don't even know what that is. It's a YouTube thing.
So what's your shirt say?
Our stickers would be free. What's
your shirt say?
It says Wham-a-Halloween. It says Smoking Hot Killer. And it is Michael Myers smoking a cigarette. This was made by Tracy Fallon.
She did an awesome job.
Wham-a-Halloween. And you can buy that at our merch store if you want one.
There's a Loomis one too. I just don't wear t-shirts.
Below. Yeah, they're sexual. They feel good.
Like I think that somebody should make a 3-button collared shirt with our designs on it so I can wear it.
Yeah, JT's Custom said that Aladdin is also this week. I'm not going to go see Aladdin.
I'm going to go see it eventually. I'm kind of like, I get teary-eyed when I hear A Whole New World. And Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie of all time. Like, without a doubt. It was the only Disney movie, literally the only Disney movie that made me shed a tear at the very end when he's like, you'll always be a prince to me. No matter what anybody says. I'm like, fuck! Because, dude, he had wishes. He could have wished, to be a prince again. One more wish. And then he's like, I wish for you to be free. Genie, you're free! And then, like, the chains are breaking off, and he gives him a hug because he sees that he's still a bum, and he can't marry, Jasmine.
Man, Lion King made me fucking cry when Mustafa died. That's the one that made me. Mustache Reviews, thank you very much. Says, I thought John died just as he stabbed Danny. That would have been crazy. I don't know, like, he just had a heart attack, like, I killed my love. Ooh. Yeah. But, all right, so we're past the 8-minute mark. We got exactly 69 people here, which is perfect time to start the Game of Thrones live recap. As a whole, as an overall whole, how I feel in my whole.
Stinky farts.
We've been supporters. We've been positive this whole season. I think we've been positive, and we've been a little like I know why people are disappointed. Like I understand how you feel, and I understand why you're upset. But at the same time, I was enjoying this. I was like, oh, it's still good, man. It's still Game of Thrones. It's still top notch shit. It may not be what you wanted, but it's still good. Let's give it a chance. And then when this ended, and I thought back on it, I went, you know what? Some of this fucking sucks.
Yeah, dude. Like that happened to me multiple times during this episode. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, again, and I felt like an asshole myself because, like I said earlier on, we lauded the episodes early on because I thought it was going to build to something epic and amazing and awesome. And there was some cool shit that happened throughout the season, but not this wet diaper on my face that they gave me. Yeah. In a goddamn crystalline package, said, "Here you go. If you want me to take a dump in a box and market guaranteed, I will. I got spare time." That's what it felt like. Like it looked good, it smelled good, but it was shit at the same time. Like, you open it up, you're like, oh shit, a cake urinal. Thanks, Game of Thrones. Thanks.
Yeah.
Because look, the way that the storylines wrapped up and the way they ended and what they did to some of the characters, I understand Dany being the Mad Queen, and that's fine. And I knew that Jon was going to take care of some business when he gets home, but he still took forever to do it. And the only one that had the balls to say anything to Dany was fucking Tyrion, and they treated him like shit. I think this series took a dump on him.
I think
because he still wants a goddamn hand of the throne, and like, can he get some more?
The whole series, like even the final episode, the one crew that held it together and did amazing was the cinematography crew.
Yeah,
and the way it was directed for the most part, like even Clegane Bowl, like when I look back on Clegane Bowl and what actually ended up being was we thought that shit was going to happen seasons ago, right? And then we get it, and it's like a 6-minute thing. But the cinematography, dude, when they're about to fight and the roof's coming off and there's a dragon flying by, like it looked beautiful. Everything except for the dark fight, the night fight, has looked great.
Yeah.
Those guys did their thing and they did a great job with the special effects. But the problem when you look back on those fights, the Clegane Bowl and Jaime versus Euron, was the fight the choreography of the fight sucked. They were like quick and they were just like bang bang. I'm gonna tackle you off the mountain, whatever the fuck. This was the first time I was like, oh, you guys really aren't doing anything good. Like you're really not doing anything good. But when this ended and I saw how they, not Dany's storyline, to me from top to bottom, Daenerys' storyline was great. Some people thought it was a wasted character and they fucked her over, but I thought her turn to evil was great. I even thought her death was great, which we'll get into all that. But just there's so many storylines. What happened to me? What happened was, George R.R. Martin wrote so many of these books, and the writers had that to follow, right? So the show was fucking great, and it was everything you expected Game of Thrones to be. When these writers had to make up their own shit, they just showed that they were found wanting. Like they didn't have it, man. It was just it was still good. It was still entertaining. You love these characters, and they're going through some crazy trials and tribulations. And when you watch that happen, either way, it's entertaining, and you're on the edge of your seat.
I didn't mind. Like the Dany turn was fine because I think they've been subtly setting it up early on in the seasons, and that's great, and I'm fine with that. But I think that people wanted more of a payoff with her character, and that is really the travesty of it, because it's kind of like the Anakin Skywalker scenario in the prequels of Star Wars. You build up this character that you know is going to go evil, but you cast, well, first off, Hayden Christensen was a shitty Anakin Skywalker, but you had a terrible script around him, his descent into darkness. I think they could have done a better job exploring like Dany and what she's doing and why she's doing it, even though they try to wrap it up with why she says, she wants to free everybody. Like her whole idea, her whole demeanor is now like, we'll free Dorne and we'll free here and we'll free Chicago, free pizza. Like that's what her, like she was just obsessed now with doing that and become a tyrant at this point. And that's obviously what her, but I feel like the arc could have been more fleshed out in a way.
Whose fault is the question though, at the end of the day? Like, who do we really blame? So like, the actors didn't want to come back for more seasons, apparently. And you can't blame them for that. Like, this show's 8 seasons long. These actors have gotten notoriety and they've gotten fame from doing the show.
Yeah.
I can't blame the actors if HBO came to them like, okay, we want to go 11 seasons, right? To really do this thing right. I don't blame the actors for wanting to move on. They have other opportunities and other things they want to do. We don't blame Robert Downey Jr. for wanting to move on from Avengers. That's fine. But then I hear some other people who say, it's the writers' fault because the writers had the option to do more shows and they didn't want to. They wanted to rush it and get it done because they were off on Star Wars and they wanted to start working on Star Wars. And if that's the case, then they are absolutely the ones to blame. But I don't know that for sure, and I don't think
I don't think the cast of Game of Thrones even liked it. Like, I mean, I think there's a montage on YouTube that you can check out. Like, it shows like 5 minutes of the Game of Thrones cast being disappointed by the season finale. Like, like when they're interviewed and they're like, yeah, like, the finale was great, right? Like, it was so fucking shit. I mean, it was great. I love my job. Like themselves don't like how the series ended. But I want to talk about Tyrion really quick. Like Jon Snow got shit on, and we'll talk about Jon Snow. But I think that Tyrion, for me, it didn't feel like Tyrion got the just end that I felt like he should have got. Now, I'm glad he didn't die. I'm glad that he stuck around and he's there. But he was the only one that stood to Dany. He's the only one that fucking called her out on her bullshit when she was having a Hitler speech in front of all her gathered goons at this point. The Unsullied are goons now, and so is the Dothraki. Like, they made them fucking complete marauders. Like they're not justifiable warriors like maybe they were earlier on in the season. Now they're just goons. And she's giving her speech and being just arrogant and dumbass, like she didn't even realize what she just torched baby fucking malicious over there. And then Tyrion's like, you murdered fucking everyone and everything, and you're a piece of shit, and I quit. You walked in here, you said you were no, I quit. And then I didn't like, but it kind of interjects or it talks about Jon, because Jon just standing in the shadows like Batman with nothing to do. And he's like, I'm not going to say anything, but I know you're right. But I was like, dude, get some balls. Like, do something and stop this.
When he's walking up and Jon Snow's walking up, so that's pretty much the start of the episode, right? Jon Snow's walking up, and like one thing you and I both wanted that we did not fucking get was for fucking I got no death for fucking Grey Worm to get it.
Because, fuck, I hate that motherfucker.
Like, dude, you weren't even that fucking cool.
I hate you.
Like, you were always like, oh, let's get past Grey Worm and Melisandre making out. And like, I got no dick. I'm gonna use my tongue. Let's get past your shit and back to the people we give a fuck about. It was always that way with him. And then it becomes this hardcore in her army. And just because your girlfriend fucking died, like, oh, now I'm gonna kill women and children. Fuck yeah! Like,
a lot of people's girlfriends. A lot of people's girlfriends are in there. Okay.
Yeah, like fuck that fucking guy. And after last episode, you and I both want to say, man, I hope Jon Snow gives it to that.
I really did. I really
and we thought we were gonna have that. Jon Snow walks up and he's about to execute these people, and he's still on his little bitch. He's like, they're going to go around. Let's kill kids. He's going to fucking slaughter these guys. And Jon Snow's like, what the fuck? And I thought, finally, Jon Snow, one of the worst travesties to me in this series so far is that Jon Snow stood by and let so much bad shit happen to good people.
Yeah, he gave up.
Jon Snow's always been the kind of guys like, we don't trade lives. You know, I'll give up my whole kingdom or whatever to save one person. And he let so many people die in that last episode that it pissed me off.
Well, it was like Captain America. It's like, what if we lose? Then we'll do that together too. Like he always came across as wholesome in his own way, weirdly. But
he kept that a little bit, but not enough. Like so, like he goes up and when he grabs Grey Worm's arm, I'm like, fuck yeah. Fight's on, bitch. It's gonna go. And then Jon, that point I understand because they're like, okay, Davos is like the voice of reason, of course. And he's like, we need to talk to the queen. So he walks away, and that little bitch Grey Worm starts slicing innocent people's throats.
Yeah, I like. Oh my god, yeah. That I forgot about that scene. That scene was antithesis of what's wrong with the season. Like, like you just let that shit. Like Jon would never have done that. Like, and I'm sorry. Like, I'm not like I didn't write the show. I didn't write the character of Jon. But I mean, based on how they were portraying Jon Snow up to this point, he would never have allowed that. Like, he would have whooped his ass. Like. And how cool would that have been to have Grey Worm versus, Jon Snow? Like that would have been a cool fucking fight.
The show didn't have time for it, man.
Well, I think I read a comment somewhere in there, and it's like what you're saying is true. Forced, fucking forced. Like they forced as much shit they could get into this little tiny peg hole with a round circle, and they're like, hey. It doesn't fit, but we'll make it fit.
It's so much worse.
Look, so.
But two things I did love, man. I really love the scene you mentioned when she's got that whole Hitler seat and the dragon wings coming up behind her, where you just see Daenerys and the dragon and how badass she looked and like scary.
Yeah.
When she was standing in front of her people and talking, and then that whole scene was really well done, and the cinematography was fucking top notch.
Good.
And it was cool as shit. And she was scary as fuck. And I was really on the edge of my seat. At this point, the episode was still really good.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god. Daenerys is talking to her people. When Tyrion walks up to her, I fucking loved it so much, dude. Probably my favorite. One other favorite moment, but second favorite moment when Tyrion walks up to her and she's like, "You let your brother go and you betrayed me." He's like, "Yeah, and you slaughtered a whole city. Fuck this, Pim.
You a slut.
I'm done."
You a slut.
That dude, that was so cool. Like I was so fucking pumped. I was like, "Yes, someone finally said it to her." That was an amazing scene. But then she's like, take him away or whatever. Yeah. But the best scene in the whole thing, that finally, and it was only just for a moment, they could have done so much more with it. Jon walks up to see her, right? Mm-hmm. And that was a pretty cool scene, by the way, when the dragon just pops up out of its sleep. It's like, oh, you're cool.
I'm not gonna card you.
Jon walks up and she's looking at the throne and she's like, oh my god, this is all about me, and my story's so great, and oh my god, I'm gonna sit on this fucking thing. I'm so special, and everybody cares about me. Like fuck the kids that you killed and the shit you did to get here. She's just like, oh.
But Jon does call her out.
That's what I love.
Yeah,
that's my favorite point.
Again, he got some balls. Season. He got some balls. Then
he walks up there. And this is even after the meeting between him and Tyrion or whatever. He's like, I just can't do it. And Jon's still being a little bitch. He's still being a little bitch. And he won't do it. But then Jon walks up there and she's like, immediately she's like, oh, everything's okay. Now that I got what I wanted to, we're not fighting anymore.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, everything's fine. And she goes up there and she's like, I used to dream about this. And
I don't give a fuck.
John just walks right in there and is like, yeah, but you killed fucking kids. And I was sitting there watching. I was like, fucking thank you. It's like when we're growing up and like you would have a fight with your girlfriend and I knew that she did you wrong. And I'm listening to your conversation because we all have landlines. And I'm on the other phone. I'm like, dude, tell her this. Say this. Say this.
It was like on the internet. Like, yeah, like, I'm gonna type it for you.
You know your friend's girlfriend is screwing him over, doing him dirty, and you just want him to stand up for himself and tell her how it really is. And you're trying to feed him lines and shit like that, you know? And when he finally says it, I was so fucking jacked. I was like, you're a smile.
We were at the B-Dubs parking lot. My brother was like, yeah, well, you're a bitch to my ex-wife. And Mike was like, dude, it's not the time. It's like, it is the time. Do it. But yeah, it was a cool scene, but it took way too long to have it happen. And I actually like the scene played out well, and I'm glad that Danny, you got yours, dog. I know I'm gonna get got. Well, I'm gonna get more than before I get got. And she did get got. But it took fucking him talking to Tyrion, who was imprisoned after he quit, after Danny says lock him up. Like, you're talking about fucking Tyrion Lannister, who's saved your ass and advised you in the best way possible. You're saying lock him up like he's nothing, like he's a throwaway. Fuck you. Okay, fuck you. I hope your dragons get syphilis.
I'm just glad you kill him on the spot.
Yeah, and that was a real fear for a minute. And then when Jon has to talk to Tyrion, and Tyrion's like, I know you think you're doing the right thing, and I know you're saying like it's about loyalty and stuff, but you gotta realize this is wrong. And it was like, it kind of felt like the fans, like through Tyrion, was saying, this is not you. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're doing shit. You're doing nothing. You're letting a tyrant rule now. You gotta go.
My queen. Get the fuck over.
You gotta break up with your girlfriend, man.
My CDs are in his truck.
You gotta break up with her, Sharon, or him. But yeah, but eventually, I did like Jon walking in that throne room like that because he was fucking like he's ready to go. He's like, step by step, oh Danny, I'm gonna stab you in the chest.
When he finally Raphael'd her with that thing,
I liked it.
That like a lot of people thought that her death was underwhelming, and I understand that because she's such a big character. Mm-hmm. But I can't deny that I enjoyed that scene because when he starts to hug her and she's like. He's like, you'll always be my queen. And they start making out. I'm like, God damn it. After all this, you're still going to bitch out. Like, it seemed like you were going to give her what she deserved. And now you're going to bitch out. And then I heard that when he stabbed her.
I didn't hear it.
I heard it.
I didn't know what happened.
I heard it. And I was like, yes, he fucking killed her. And then even though it was like a simple scene, he just stabbed her with Raphael's fucking, thing or whatever.
Side.
Yeah, side. The side. And she died or whatever. I was like, thank God. Like, I was really happy. And then I thought the dragon scene was cool.
Well, it wasn't bad. I just felt like it was a little bit Disney-ish. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not that it was bad. It just felt like it was unneeded, that scene, that whole entire part of it. Because first off, the Danny death scene, when Jon kills Danny, again, it was predictable. We knew it was going to happen. I thought, though, it was going to be more epic than it was. It just kind of happened. It was kind of Romeo and Juliet. She's like, and then, the blood. He's like, oh, my God, what do I do? But I'm free. I don't have to fucking have a girlfriend anymore. That's crazy. But then the dragon swoops down, and I guess it's symbolic that the dragon looks at him and he looks at Danny, and it's sad, but it burns the Iron Throne down to nothing, and it's like nobody will rule. Like, I guess that's what they were going for, like a symbolism.
I dug that because in the dragon's mind, I think it was the throne that killed her.
But I don't know. It felt like fucking Mufasa telling about, like, one day, Simba, all the stars in the sky. It just felt like it didn't need to be in the movie.
But definitely not the worst sin this episode commits.
I'm sorry, in the show. But yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. But it just, and then, it takes her and flies away into the nothingness. But and then
that is the biggest. The next step is the biggest fucking tragedy in this entire goddamn series, and the entire 8 fucking seasons of Game of Thrones. Oh, dude, we had entire seasons where we just talked.
Yeah,
we had entire fucking seasons where nothing fucking happened, and you just played it up, and you're just like, oh, maybe this is happening. Little fingers and then fucking whatever. And then you're gonna take the biggest moment in the entire series, and you're gonna go, no. And you're just gonna fucking skip ahead like 7 years later, okay. And then all of a sudden, it was like at that moment, the dragon blew the fucking throne, right? He blew the throne to bits.
On the duck.
He sucked the throne's dick and blew it to bits. He blew it to bits, and then the throne's gone, and then like someone went, cha-ching. Hey, by the way, we're out of fucking money. Fast forward, we're in a fucking desert. Then everybody important in the show is under a fucking tent. We're under a fucking tent.
Who set the tent up? What's his name? What company did they use?
No dick.
Who's the party player?
Grey Worm is running shit, and he wheels Tyrion out like he fucking shoplifted at Walmart, and then everyone's like, that was so disappointing. God damn it.
Like my vision of that ending when shit Grey Worm, bitch worm was leading Tyrion out of the prison. I thought like a knife was going to come out of the goddamn darkness like a batarang and stab that motherfucker right in the head. And then Jon, because I didn't know it was years later. I thought it just happened. And then Jon was simply like, I am king now. Bow to me. Grey Worm is dead. I have a deck. And then, and then it's done. And then Tyrion's freed. And now Jon is the king. And then maybe Jon would pass off the power. I don't know. But that didn't happen. Basically, what Bitch Worm does is he takes Tyrion and, show some respect. Okay, for what Tyrion Lannister has done for the entire season, like what he is and how much he's accomplished, what the hero that he actually is, he throws him like, to the council, like in front of all these important people, Sansa, Arya, Samwell Tarly, all the survivors, Brienne, and like judgment or something. Like he deserves, like a common criminal, like he doesn't matter. And he's like, you don't get to talk anymore. It's like, you don't ever get to fuck anymore. But, I was like, that's bullshit. And then they're talking about having who's going to be the next king or queen. And then I felt like I was watching American Idol. Do I text to vote? I text to vote?
It's basically what the writers were doing. Sitting under a shitty tent, and they didn't even crop out a fucking bottle of water that was sitting next to Samwell. It was sitting right there on the fucking floor. And then they were like, it's basically the writers going, I don't know what we should do next. And basically everybody was sitting outside going, I don't know, maybe you should be, maybe you should be fucking, I don't fucking know.
I'll do it.
All this for that? For fucking that? For you guys to be sitting under a fucking tent like you were at goddamn Myrtle Beach? Like
it's a flea market.
Trying not to get a tan? And that's it. And Grey Worm's running shit now. And even Grey Worm didn't even have a fucking. He was like, no, we can't do that. And then all of a sudden, Tyrion was like, I think you guys should pick. And then Grey Worm was like, yeah, maybe you guys should pick.
That was inconsistent.
Then you're gonna do you're not gonna fucking tell us what happened after Jon killed Dany. You're not gonna show us. You don't have time to show us that. But you're gonna take time to have jokes. You're gonna tell jokes now. You're going to have two guys stand up and make lines and have everybody laugh at them, which is fine and great and good and whatever. But you use the showtime to have a fucking guy go up and have everybody, sit down, uncle. You're going to have that instead of showing us what happened to Jon after he killed Daenerys, the queen of fucking dragons.
I feel like the whole cast that was gathered under that tent, they felt like they were like Beetlejuice. They were like, I got a photo shoot at GQ and I got to wrap this up. I mean,
like do I
look good? Like, are you next in line? Like, it felt like they were like, in the middle of doing something important, they had to sit down and do a scene real quick. Like, okay, you got to do this. It was like, okay, I guess. And then like,
let's do improv, guys.
And Samwell, offers democracy, which I thought that was a possibility for the show to end that way, like where people were not going to have a monarchy anymore because, who's going to sit on the Iron Throne? Samwell's like, well, we'll have a democracy, and everybody laughs. It's like, well, the horses get a vote too? Like, what? Like, it's democracy, bitch. It's gonna fucking be okay, but it didn't happen that way. I'm glad that it didn't because I feel like it should stay a monarchy in the Seven Kingdoms or the Six Kingdoms now. But what they ultimately choose is fucking Professor Xavier to be the fucking king. Bran the Broken, Raisin Bran, the cereal. It becomes the king forever.
This guy's good at telling stories when he gets drunk.
Yeah,
he should be king.
I like it. Like he tells the best stories with the best punchlines. But yeah, Professor Xavier Bran becomes the goddamn king, and I think he did nothing. I know, but I think that people like honestly, I think there was someone that mentioned that in one of the streams that we did that thought it was going to be Bran. I don't remember which one of you guys that did it, but they called Bran. They said Bran's going to be the king. And I was like, it doesn't make sense. But then I'm like, at the same time, because he has got all these fucking psychic superpowers, I guess they could go that route.
I still don't even know what the fuck Bran is. It's like, oh, he's the Night King.
He's a raven.
He knows history.
He's a raven.
He got
3 eyes.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck can he fuck? Like, oh, that'll please, no one will be mad about that. Let's just pick him to do that because so Bran can just sit up there. Like, all he's done for 10 goddamn seasons has been like, the wind blows in the west, and I like Pop-Tarts. And he doesn't even fucking he doesn't give a shit. And all of a sudden, they're like, well, do you want it? He's like, what do you think I've been doing this for? When all he said for weird. 2 fucking seasons is, I don't give a shit about nothing. Yeah. Now well, like, oh, I came all this way just to do this.
I wish to God they had like those like weird Nick Nolte or Gary Busey like little sayings when they were like, you will be the king of the north.
Motherfucker's a fortune.
And he'd be like, Seafoam only grows in the Gulf. Like, what? Do you want the job? Like, sometimes the wind rustles.
And then he started a Magic 8-Ball company and became a millionaire and then fed everyone.
He's like an 8-ball, though. Yeah, he's like outlooks look cloudy. Ask again. So he's the king. And the only other consolation they get is that Sansa, the North will remain independent, and she will be queen of the North, and they will not be. That's cool, and that's fine, and I'm down with that. But that was the only consolation, really, and really that wraps up really fast. Then you jump cut to fucking goddamn Jon Snow looking like Robinson Crusoe mixed with Castaway in a cell with a huge bushy beard.
Mask of Zorro.
I thought he was gonna put on makeup and be Sting, and then the Cure burn would come on as he was putting on makeup, but he just sitting there, and Tyrion's like, "That's the best we could get." What they excommunicate him. They excommunicate him because fucking Grey Worm said, "I don't want Jon being a part of the kingdom ever again, because he killed Dany. He killed Dany, who fucking burned children and men and women."
Why? What was the fucking point of making Jon a Targaryen? Why did you go through that whole fucking storyline? He's king. He's literally fucking king. And the people sitting under that goddamn Cabela tent know he's fucking king. They all know he's fucking king. Like, my firstborn. But because you guys decided we're not going to do it that way anymore, now you have to listen to Grey Worm and his little dickless fucking ass tell you what to do with your king?
That was the thing. Fuck. The only way that Jon was going to be released and be alive is that if they gave in to what bitch boy Grey Worm said, the Unsullied will not follow. First off, if I killed you in combat, bitch, I'm pretty sure the Unsullied is going to follow me. And I guarantee you I can do it because I'm Jon Snow and you got no jack.
It would have been greater to have a trial by combat, whereas Jon took on Grey Worm one-on-one. It's like, okay, we'll let him fight for his own, anything. Dude, a fan, some guy just posted on Twitter, and it was the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. They said, okay, here's what they should have done. Grey Worm sentences Jon to death for killing Daenerys. Jon comes out, and they sentence him to death by dragon, right? They have the dragon fucking spray him with fire, and then Jon walks out of the fire, butt fucking naked, and then everybody bows to him because they realize he is Targaryen and the one true king. He's proved it. There's no doubt. What? How does the show writers not come up with that fucking idea?
What you're saying to me, I want to write a rock song based on your descriptions.
It's like, how bad is that fucking bitch? Instead, no, you gotta go to the north. You can't stick in nothing no more.
Lying ass bitch says, "Oh, Jon's gotta go away." The hero that fucking warned him about the White Walkers, the one that died and came back to life, the one that united the North, the king of the North, that got. What the fuck were you smoking that day, my son? But anyway, so Jon is released from prison, thank God, and he's good. And like it's a decent goodbye with Tyrion. Like, he talks to Tyrion, and I wanted those guys to like be a buddy cop thing for a long time. I really wanted them to be like Lethal Weapon people or something. But unfortunately, they go their separate ways. What you really find out is that Sansa now, like I said, is Queen of the North, and like it's basically the ending of the movie or of the show is Jon saying goodbye as he's getting on a boat to go away, because again he's been excommunicated. Like, this fucking hero, this guy that's not only a hero but a Targaryen, firstborn male heir to the throne, rightful heir, and like Barry said, the one that probably could have done wonders. Is going away now and shipping to God knows where. To God know where you're going. And they do this, like, I feel like the only song it would have been like it's a goddamn Whitesnake video. I don't know where I'm going.
Here I go again
on my own. Dun, dun. Going down the only road I've ever known.
Of all the people who get to live and sail off into happiness, Jon Snow has to get excommunicated to the fucking Minnesota, and goddamn Grey Worm gets to go on a fucking boat where he wants to go.
He went to Milwaukee, meaning the good land. But yeah, and then you have Arya, who the explorer of the seas, fucking Captain Blackbeard.
With her story.
Captain Blackbeard going out to find out what's west of Westeros.
I don't know what fucking Magellan now.
She's fucking
a man has many faces, and I call myself Columbus.
I think there's desert out there. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. And then Sansa being Queen of the North. I'm okay with that. I'm not perturbed or mad about that, but I really feel like what they did with Jon and like the way that the whole thing just ends. I'm like, is that really it? Did you just slap me in the face with a cock?
With the fucking bullshit that this show's pulled off before, with the things that these characters have come back from. Like, there was points in the show where you thought Tyrion has no chance to live.
Yeah.
When he killed his dad on the toilet, sitting on the toilet.
Sitting on the toilet.
When Tyrion killed his dad on the fucking toilet, you thought there's no way he'll live. And then you come up with the trial by combat. You do all this cool shit. Like, Jon Snow literally he's the fucking king. He's Dragonborn. He's all of it. How do you not figure out a way to figure that out?
I don't know.
Instead, you're like, sorry, dude. You gotta go. And we're gonna make fucking Captain fucking Weirdo. You know,
this is like the quintessential obvious like speed writing bullshit that happens when you don't have an idea on what to do and how to finish off an amazing series, and either you didn't take the time to fucking really think about what you wanted to do, or you just got rushed by the studio to finish it because they don't want to make any more, and the cast was not on board with doing sequels. Now, the thing is, the way they ended it, I mean, I'm glad that certain people survived. I'm glad they're not dead.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe they did it because they want a little bit of the moolah later on. Like, maybe they're thinking, look, Jon is on his own adventure. Arya's on her own adventure. Maybe we can make some series around what their explorations might find. I don't know. Like Harrington, whatever the guy's Kit, the one that plays Jon Snow, could come back potentially, I suppose, and do a Jon Snow spinoff. Or Arya could come back and do. I don't want that because I'm not really interested.
I'm done.
And now we're done with that. Yeah, I'm done. And they're going to do prequels now. I don't give a fuck.
My watch is in.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'll watch it. I'm not going to review it. I don't really want to talk about it.
If I ever did anything, and I'm not a big reader, if I was ever going to dip my toe back into Game of Thrones, the only thing I would ever do is A, watch the series again, or B, I want to watch. I would read the books and see what George R. R. Martin finishes with, because to me, and I don't know the timeline. I'm not hip on the books and all the shit that happens in there. But what it feels like, and I'm just guys, and this is a perfect time for us to be doing this live. If you guys tell me if I'm 100% wrong or not, but what it feels like is that the show was fucking amazing when they had the books to go off of. Mm-hmm. And then the second that the show superseded the books and moved past them in story and had to make up their own shit, I feel like people's weaknesses as writers was revealed. And then they had to kind of slap some shit together, and then it just kind of put some stank on it, Tony Stark. Am I wrong about the timeline on that? Because it seemed like last season and this season were just kind of like completely different. Well, and, but I held out hope. I thought at the end, though, they will rock our dicks.
Yeah.
And then they just did.
Thunder dicks. Like, here's the thing. I'm not 100%, and I don't know. I'm just trying to help you out on something. I don't know if they went on. I don't know if the show really based a lot of it on the books, because they did things in the book differently than they did in the show. Like, there was character deaths that didn't happen in the book,
right? And
they went a different route. So I think they may have used it as inspiration, but they went their own route with what their stories were.
But they had the meat of it.
But yeah, I mean, there was a lot to go on. I mean, there was material that they could at least look at and see. I don't know. Yeah, it's possible. And George R. R. Martin is making shit tons of money, and he's like, I don't have to write my books anytime soon. Like, I'm just gonna let HBO do it for me.
Dude, you think
I'm gonna make money.
You think he was trepidatious about finishing his books and taking his slow ass time with them then? Now look at the backlash for what HBO did. Now it's gonna take him 20 years because he's gonna be afraid to put out anything.
And look, I don't want to be a salty Sally here.
Okay,
I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but look. This episode sucked, guys. Like, it sucked ass for a lot of, like, because this, if it had just been a standard episode, like if it had just been a standard episode and then there was going to be a few more later on, I'd be like, okay, well, it's just a bad episode. They're going to fix it and it's going to get better. They're setting up things. This was it. Like, guys, when you watched it, like, they even had a thing on HBO when it was like 10, 9, 8, 7, like pumping it up. And it didn't deliver. It's like fucking Mike Tyson knocked out the motherfucker in the first try. Like, well, there goes my $500 at the ringside seat. But it could have been such, like, again, we're not writers. We're not people that are involved in Hollywood, but we could have done a better job. I mean, you guys have come up with like possible, like, alternate versions of this, and they're great. There could have been a number of the situations that you could have wrote or fleshed out or done something different with that would have made this episode better. First and foremost, don't make Jon a bitch for like the last two best part or like the last two episodes of the entire series. Don't just change his fucking attitude and idea and be like, oh, he's a bitch now. He only does what Dany says. And he's been like brainwashed. Don't make Tyrion a background character and only comes up when he needs to come up to say anything. And as far as Dany being like crazy and shit, that's fine. I'm all right with that. But then don't use her fucking little sidekick butler, Grey Worm, as somehow now more important than he ever was. That's what like they did like some bad shit, but it's over, guys. We're done now. Yeah. Like it's done.
And then they have they try to wrap it all up in this nice way where Tyrion's sitting at the table, and then Bran. I do like that. Bronn is the master of coin.
I do like that. I do like that.
That's fucking hilarious. But when they bring in the book and he's like, "Oh, it's a Song of Ice and Fire," you're not mentioning it. It's like that was stupid.
Why would you mention Tyrion?
So I was listening to a podcast earlier. Like they needed a laugh track. Like you didn't even know where they were joking around. When they're like, "Tyrion's not in it." Like, Tyrion's not even in it. I was like, "What?" Like I don't know. I did like Jaime writing Jaime's story or Brienne writing Jaime's story in the
that was cool. I did like
that was important.
It was a sweet little.
It was important to him what was written about about him, and that was kind of cool since they ended his character so shittily. But I don't know, man. Really disappointing.
It was just a lot of it was just a.
And Jon, I guess, is free. Like he didn't. They banished him to the Night Watch, which is not actually there.
Well, I know, but he goes into the north. But it's like
he liberates those people, and he's with the wildlings now. I guess he's king of those people because he was the only one on a horse. But they don't even explain. But you even saw confused by it.
And he does reunite with
your greatest fucking character, and you're not even going to explain what the fuck happened to him in detail.
He reunites with his dog, but even his friend, like the red hair guy, was like, "Man, they fucked you over bad, dog." Like you could see his face. Like he's even looking at me like, "Man, I thought you were gonna be like on the Iron Throne or doing some amazing shit. You're back here. Damn, you start from the bottom. Now you at the bottom again." Like, because I understand it's full circle. Like they want to do the full circle. Like he got sentenced to the wall, and now he's embracing it. He's going beyond the wall into the north, into a different. But I mean, God, guys, like, fucking, are you serious? Like he was. What the cool part of that story with Jon Snow for me was a bastard that no one wanted, that no one gave any kind of mention or thought to. His own stepmother, I guess, hated him, and the only one that really defended him was his siblings that they adopted, or his adopted siblings, and Sean Bean, talking about how special it was. There was a prophecy, there was things about him, and then he rose up from nothing, from basically being a bastard to just a guy on the wall, and then all of a sudden the guy that unites the wildlings, and then King of the North, and then you just shit on the whole fucking why'd you do it? Like, I mean, if he was a nothing, to just make him a nothing, like make him just stay on the wall. Like, I don't know.
And to be honest, at the end of the day, like even though we're pissed about all the choices that they made, like so many fucking people are, give us a break because we've been positive this whole season, thinking it was gonna go great. Even then, it's been entertaining. It's been fun to watch. We've been on the edge of our seats. I don't feel like they ruined the series. It was still a great series.
If you've never seen the series,
I feel like people who just watched it, because like for me, I was never like, oh, I'm fucking crazy about Game of Thrones. I was just like, this shit's entertaining as hell. It's fun to watch on a Sunday night, and I'm enjoying myself. So for me, I wasn't that upset. I was just like, you know what? It was still entertaining. I would have done 1,000 different things, and this is stupid. And I can't believe fans are coming up with better writing than people are getting paid to do this. But at the end of the day, I even had fun with this season because it was fun. It was entertaining. I couldn't wait to see what was going to happen, and that's what we wanted. It didn't get boring. It didn't get stupid. They just could have done so much fucking better with all of it. And there were so many storylines that, like, what was the point? What was the point of Jon being Targaryen? What was the fucking point of Jaime and his whole arc? If you were just going to bring him right back to where he started, what was the point of so much of this shit?
I feel like it's the end of the episode was kind of like that song, like, "Where's my beautiful wife? Where's my beautiful house? As the days go by and the water falls."
Dylan Rackle, thank you so much, Dylan. He says, "Hey guys, be my lady. Absolutely love your channel. Best one on YouTube. Jay, can you say hi to my wife Stephanie for me as Loomis? Keep up the great work. Cheers."
I would, but I won't. Stephanie! How you doing? You doing well? I'm doing great. Not really, because I'm doing a goddamn Game of Thrones review that I hate. That's what I'm doing. I hope you're doing well. Your husband, Dylan, has a Superman emoji. Is that what it's called? These kids, goddamn. He's from Krypton, and he's scared of rocks. But he's powerful at the same time. Treat him right. He treats you right. Go to Olive Garden. Get yourself a buffet.
It's always back to Olive Garden.
But anyway, I read something, like somebody said, Tomo was saying something. Do you remember the prophecy about Jaime and Cersei, that the Lannister? And he's like, does bricks count? I think that's probably as far as we're going to get from it. Like, I thought it would be something a lot more dramatic than that. But yeah, I guess. I mean, that you know, her brother would lead her to her death, and he does. He let her down into the underkeep, and rocks collapse on him. So yeah, I guess. But again, really, two of the more dynamic characters, Jaime Lannister and Cersei Lannister, going out with like nothing but a goddamn squeak.
I have to ask,
what the fuck?
Did y'all just run out of fucking money? Can you just be honest?
No, it's not money. I'm telling you, it was just ideas, creative ideas that they didn't know how to go.
John kills Daenerys, and the dragon comes out, and it's a badass, beautiful scene, and he burns the chair. And the next thing you know, we're in a fucking sand pit outside of a daycare, and one of those turtles that kids play in. And there's a fucking tent. There's a fucking tent.
I want to see some.
And everyone's sitting under it. There's bottles of fucking Aquafina. Like, what happened? What the fuck happened?
15 million an episode? Holy shit! Yeah, like, they had plenty of money.
That's crazy, man.
You fucking kidding?
I don't know, man.
Okay, so that
I gotta pee.
I
gotta pee.
I'm gonna go vomit from talking about this episode.
I still love Game of Thrones. This is our last episode, obviously.
It's so, guys, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, let that sink into your face pores. We're never gonna talk about Game of Thrones again. Like, this is it. Like, I mean, as far as like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's done. It's over. It's never. And this fucking turd sandwich.
I'm not doing a spinoff.
This skid mark on your face.
I'm out on the.
Is what they gave you.
I'm out on the spinoff.
I know. I'm not doing
whatever you want to do.
But this is what they gave you, guys. This is it. God, I mean, I'm sure there are people that loved it. I don't know who they are, but they're probably out there. But god damn, are you telling me that you felt? Did you feel satisfied?
You know, it went from it went from a 10 to a 7. And a 7's not that bad, but it went from a 10 to a 7 at the most
crucial moment.
Worst time. Yeah, at the most crucial moment.
It's like when you're trying to fight a battle and you get diarrhea.
Yeah, it still wasn't bad. There's still money. It's still it's still TV. This is still one of the greatest shows of all time. But man, those decisions. When randos on Twitter just come up with way cooler storylines than you guys brought up, and all the time you had to work on this show, it's just so fucking disappointing.
I like how you're saying a 7. I'm gonna give them motherfucker a 5 because here's the issue. I think it looked good.
Don't compare it to Game of Thrones. Compare it to everything else that you get on TV.
But I got to, because I gotta compare
it to Game of Thrones. It's a 4. You know?
No, yeah, because I gotta compare it to what came before. It looks like it played out like shit. It played out like the worst Lifetime movie network shit I could ever imagine possible. But there were some cool moments that looked really cool on screen. Otherwise, it's over, guys, and they slapped us in the face with a wiener.
You made bad choices. You just made bad choices.
Now live with it, child.
Sleep in your bed.
Now come away with me into the night and find yourself again.
Oh, I gotta pee. All right. So that was Game of Thrones, guys. That's it. Comment down below. Let us know y'all's thoughts. We'll be back in just over an hour with our final. This worked out perfectly.
I feel good about that. Yeah, I'm really happy. I am so good.
Our final Chucky live commentary watch, 1 p.m. on the channel live.
Be excellent.
We're ending it. We're ending it. God damn it.
We will take you with us, but we're doing a history report, not a future report.
Thank you guys for joining us this season. Thank you guys for joining us through all this shit. We love your fucking faces. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. Get some goddamn wham opinion. What the fuck? Was Jon Snow ever? God damn it. I gotta pee in my pants.
I'm gonna vomit out of my mouth.
Hold the door.
No,
you gotta click in on that.
What?
I forgot.
What? How do you do that? Oh shit! I gotta go away. Mike left me in charge. How you guys doing? You guys doing sexy? I could see you. No, it's not to get weird. I'm gonna end it in a second. Yeah, Tomo, you did. Thor, do you want some? Okay, guys. Bye.